I mean, the craziest thing for me on the road is just, you know, continuing to see time and time again how people react to the music, who do them, that's not. And, you know, when I first put that song out, because of the change in tempo, you know, it slows down, it speeds up, and it slows back down again. And the whole thing is this big metaphor. Is like the beat itself is a metaphor for the rise and fall of a whack MC. You know how things are starting, they start off slow and then the pace picks up and you gain momentum and everything's great. But if you don't have that skill set, if you don't really have the talent to back it up, if you're just a puppet artist, eventually you're gonna fall right back down that hill again. So for that song, when we first did it, you know, people's reaction to it, not having heard it before, was like, wow, you know, I can't believe this guy. You know, the faster the beat gets, the faster he's rhyming, and then the song slows down. But then after the song had, you know, made its rounds and gotten into people's hearts and minds, and you come back to these same cities and you do some of these same songs, and they hear that song and they're like, wow, that's my favorite song on that old album, and he's still doing it like he just wrote it. So it's a different kind of energy you're getting from world premiere to classic. I mean, it took a while for me to even utter the word, considering my own songs, but I've gotten so much support that I had to just bear witness and recognize, thank you. You know, the support that I've gotten and the feedback that I've gotten on the song and the longevity of the song has made it classic, you know, and it dates me, but it's something that I'm very, very proud of. The overseas crowd, from when I first started in the mid-90s versus the overseas crowd now, has remained consistent. And I think as people become more familiar with my music around the world, it resonates back to the States. You know, a lot of underground artists, we joke amongst ourselves that, you know, around our way nobody knows us, but we can, you know, once we step out of that airport, you know, you world famous. And it's the same sort of thing, you know what I'm saying? It's like, to be local now, you really gotta be a pop icon, you know, outside of what you do in your immediate cipher, in your immediate neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? But the States have shown me so much love, from the Bay to Miami to Atlanta to Chicago to LA to, I mean, you gotta get up out of the States, just up north, Toronto, from Toronto to Vancouver, even over Victoria, just the Midwest, the South, the North, the East. It's the same sort of love, and that love is the one consistent thing has been a passion for hip hop. People don't just come out to my show because they want to hear what's hot right now. They come out to my show because they want to hear what's classic. They want to hear what's next. All right, what you got on the plate right now, and don't forget to do them old joints, you know? So for me, it's an honor and a privilege to notice that similarity, because in the mid-90s, you know, the beauty of it is we used to go to England and rock, and cats would be like, oh yeah, you know, thanks for coming all the way from America, because we're not really checking for our local artists. But if you come back around now, they're like, thanks for coming over from America, check out what we got going on over here. You know, I've seen the scene grow to the point where local artists overseas are getting a lot more respect, the respect that they deserved back then, but it just took some time for their own communities to grow and recognize, you know, hip-hop is more than just the U.S. Hip-hop, you know, every country has its own vibe and its own scene now. So, I mean, that's how I'd say it's changed and how it's grown.